Hey, what's up guys? It's Bye here with another Rise of Kingdoms video. I hope this video will find you in time and help you decide to whether or not you should be investing in the new infantry commander, Cheok Gyeong. I know lots of you guys are looking for information online about him to help you deciding, right? So first, let's go and take a look at some of the information you might able to find online. So here we have uh, two reports. Two report here for testing using Guan Alex versus Guan and Cheok Gyeong here. So on the left hand side, we see that the report showing that Guan and Alex got 24,000 severe wounded, comparing to Guan and Cheok only 21,500 severe wounded here. But look at the right hand side, same testing. Now we got Guan Alex with 27,000 severe wounded, and Guan and Cheok only 15,600 severe wounded. You might be wondering, why is there such a big difference in terms of testing results? Because you never know what people are using for testing online, right? People posting screenshot, but you don't know what they are using for testing. Like, do they use same equipments? Do they use same like talent tree? Are there any other factors, right? Like on the left hand side is one of the tests that being done by some people in my own alliance. They left the alliance and they did some testing there with no equipment. So I kind of like, okay, people from my alliance, I can trust them. On the right hand side, some random screenshot that I found online, like, oh my god, should I be believing this one or not? So, so one issue is that the online information often are not reliable. So that is something you need to keep in mind. The second issue is that people are using one versus one testing results to decide on what commander you should be investing on for open field. Open field is not the same as one versus one. So for the example, right? So people are using Guan Alex versus Guan Cheok for like one versus one testing. So first, let me go and show you guys something real quick. Uh, window capture this one. Okay, so this one is my my score system for infantry commanders. So in here, so for the test, right, I think they are testing Alex. One second here. Oh, too much here. So the test, they were testing Alex and Cheok, right? So in my score system, you can see that Alex, I gave Alex 18 points, right? And Cheok, I only gave Cheok a score of 13.25 and maximum of 16.25 here. So in the bracket, if you can maintain the number of stack for the skill damage, you can get up to 16.25. So the problem with testing one versus one is that, let's say if it's like a one versus one testing, it's like a raw power testing. So like the support point is not gonna be getting to in consideration. The mobility is not gonna be taking into consideration as well, and you're just staying at one spot and fighting. So like for like a one versus one testing, we are looking at an Alex at 13.5 points, right? Attack 10.5, defense 3 here. For testing in a 1v1 situation, the support and the mobility score are not being considered. Because you're only using one target, right? Like Alex has that debuff that can work on 3 targets. This is not happening. This is not working. And if you're looking at Cheok, for like a same thing, right? For like 1v1 testing, only thing matter is gonna be the attack and defense score. So for this one, the total score for Cheok is 10.5 plus 2. But he can get up to 15.25. So one of the thing here is that he can get up to additional 2 more points additionally compared to Alex. Because if he can maintain that stack, if he can go to the target, if he can like kill the target, like buy the target for a long time and can take the target down to like below 30% HP, he got be able to max out on his potential here. So in the bracket is the maximum scores that Cheok can get, which is 13.5 attack for attack here, plus 2 is 15.5. And you will be able to get to the maximum score here for Cheok when you do a 1 versus 1 testing. So let's go back into the game here and I'll explain to you guys a little bit more why. Okay, so let's go back into the game here. And first of all, I think we have to look at Cheok skill, right? So for Cheok skill, the first skill you can deal 1700 damage to a single target, and if the target has been reduced to 30% unit remaining, you can deal an extra 300 damage right there. So in like a mass open field scenario, your chance of like getting someone to below 30% HP, I would say not very high. People smart nowadays. People are refreshing their marches. It could be very difficult to find someone that keep fighting until the very end, and for you to attacking on someone that kind of like below 30% HP. It doesn't happen very often. So most of the time, you will not be able to activate this skill, which is only trigger when the target is below 30% HP. But in like a 1 versus 1 testing scenario, you are guaranteed to have this skill kick in when the march is below 30% HP. So that is one thing you need to keep in mind. So this will definitely affect the result for 1v1 testing versus like an open field scenario. So that is one. So this should be the same infantry attack bonus. The stat boost doesn't affect too much when it comes to a 1v1 or open field. So this one right here, so I think this is an expertise skill. While on the map, Cheok Legacy Commander have a 40% chance to get incoming skill damage reduced by 50% and deal skill damage up to 3 enemy target in a fanship area. And there is a 3 second delay here, right? You cannot trigger this skill back to back. So the skill damage reduction, this one is a little bit different comparing to, let's say you have a Saturn, right? So Saturn, let me find my Saturn here. So, oh shoot, where am I Saturn? Okay, Saturn, right? So Saturn has skill damage taken reduction 30%, but it works all the time, right? So like when you're the primary commander casting the active skill, you're going to take less than 30% skill damage. If the second commander casts the skill as well, you're going also got to take 30% less skill damage. And if on the open field situation, if there are like other marches on the side hitting you all the time, you also got to be able, the 30% skill damage also kick in as well for other skill damage coming from other sources. But on Cheok, right? Cheok skill, the skill damage reduction can work very well in like a 1v1 situation, because now you only have to work with one margin only. But like in an open field, in like an open field scenario, if this skill trigger once, right, one time only, let's say when the target margin they cast their active skill, this skill kick in. For the next 3 seconds, you will not be able to get that 50% skill damage reduction anymore. And if there are some other marches on the side casting the AoE skill damage, you got hit, the 50% skill damage will not kick in. So that is a big issue as well. And this kind of work pretty well in like a 1v1 situation as well, because in a 1v1 situation, you guaranteed to only get hit by one skill damage at the time, right? You're not getting hit by multiple skill damage. So again, right, like a 1v1 testing is definitely not like the best test for this skill right here. It doesn't tell you the downside of this skill in an open field situation. That is another key point right there. And I think the next key point is Cheok or skill. Also very conditional here. If Cheok Legacy Commander consists of only infantry unit, they gain 3% increase march. They gain 15% increased march speed bonus, and normal attack have a 100% chance to gain a stack. And for each stack you gain, you gotta be able to gain 5% skill damage bonus, and you can get up to 8 stack, and 8 times 5, you can get up to like 40% skill damage. So what's the issue with this skill? The issue with this skill is that not like in a 1v1 situation, you gotta be fighting for like quite some time, right? Let me look at the map here. At the other one here. So for this one, right? It's the battle going from 9 hour 31 minutes to 9 hour 33 minutes, 34 minutes here, right? So for almost 3 minutes, like I was there hitting on the same target for 3 minutes. Do you think it's gonna happen like that in mass open field? Do you honestly think that in like a big mass open field you gotta be able to stay at one spot hitting on the same target to keep maintain that 8 stack all the time? Do you think it's gonna happen? Ask yourself, can you or will you be able to maintain that 8 stack? And it's gonna be depend a lot on the commander pairing, right? And another issue with the kind of like testing pair right here is that, again, right, because Cheok 40% skill damage can work very, very well with a commander with high skill damage base. And Guan Yu in this scenario with that additional skill damage would definitely gonna be benefit a lot more from that 40% skill damage. So it's gonna affect the testing result by a lot. So that is something you also need to keep in mind as well. So that is, I would say, like the force skill is probably my biggest concern when it comes to the 1v1 testing, because you gotta be able to gain so much more skill damage. But in like a big open field scenario, I hardly doubt that you gotta be able to maintain that 8 stack for very, very long, or even able to get to that 8 stack. So that is gonna be a big issue right there. So with that being said, well, I just want to tell you guys that there is like a big issue when it comes to a 1v1 testing versus open field situation. So you gotta understand the big difference between the two. Let's go back here, right? So here, right, again, right, with the score system that I have, right, like if I'm going to do like a 1v1 testing, right, Cheok Jun's gonna be able to obtain that maximum potential right there, able to stack up to like 8 stack of skill damage bonus all the time, able to like hitting the target below 30%, right? So Cheok Jun gonna be able to have very, very high attack here, like very, very high stat here in a raw power. For a raw power in a 1v1 situation, he can get up to like 16.25. And if you do a testing against Alex, which he only have a raw power of 13.5 here, well, obviously Cheok Jun is going to win. But Cheok Jun does not provide any other support. He doesn't have debuff. He doesn't have anything else. Unlike Alex, right? Alex debuff is great. It might not show in like a 1v1 situation, but it show in a mass open field fighting when you are using multiple marches to fight. So that is something you need to keep in mind, and I really want you guys to know about it. With that being said, right, in my opinion, Cheok Jun is not a bad commander, right? If you want to invest in him, right, he's a pretty decent, solid commander, right? He can work, but you need to know that which commander can work well for him, right? One thing is that you have to, I think you definitely have to pair him in a way so that you can maximize hit force skill. I think hit force skill is pretty strong, but you have to pick the right commander to pair him with so that he can maximize on that skill. So 40% skill damage bonus. I mean, you're like, oh shit, Guan Yu is gonna be the best choice because Guan Yu has the best skill damage. But hey, if you gotta use Guan Yu and Cheok Jun on the open field, I think you gotta die before you even be able to cast a skill, right? So that is something you need to keep in mind. So like, Cheok Jun is a commander that can work very well with a tanky commander that can deal high skill damage. And who is that? Well, no other than Pekal. Pekal is tanky, and his base skill damage is pretty high. 1300 skill damage here. Not like super high like Guan Yu, but 1300 times 40%, you can definitely bonus a lot more from the skill damage bonus from Cheok Jun. On the other hand, Pekal is also pretty tanky as well, anti-swarming mechanism here, and also has shield, defense 3. Could be a very, very good like primary for Cheok Jun here, and you can help him survive longer, and you can maximize out on that force skill here with the skill damage bonus increase. So that is something you need to keep in mind for like a commander pairing choice. So I would say Pekal would definitely like the ideal choice. If you don't have Pekal, other commanders that can also deal skill damage for infantry are Hero, Hero or Leo. So Hero is, man, Hero could be. I wouldn't pair Hero with Cheok unless you want to do like a rally or something, right? Rally is a different story. Open field, Pacquiao and Cheok have a zero survivability. But if you have a Leo, you could consider using Leo with Cheok as well, because Leo does have a that 600 AoE skill damage for the active skill here. So he can work well with Cheok. He also had defense 10 trees that can bring up the survivability. And Leo also have pretty good amount of health stat boost and defense stat boost as well, which can help you do really well on the open field. I think the key point is that when you pair a commander, you need to find, like, when you want to invest in one commander, you need to know who's gonna be the commander that be pairing with him, right? You gotta make sure that you have the right commander to pair with the commander that you are going to invest in. So that is another thing you need to keep in mind. And for Cheok, I definitely think that he's one of the commanders that you must need him expertise. Because of his expertise skill, he will be able to deal AoE skill damage, which can be very beneficial in open field, in mass open field fighting. And for you to maximize on his expertise as well, you also have to need a pretty decent tanky commander. So the expertise skill and the force skill, those two skills require you to be able to maintain those stack of skill damage bonus. So you have to have a commander that you be able to play aggressively without getting hit quite often, right? So you need a tanky commander that can deal AoE skill, not AoE skill damage. A tanky commander can deal skill damage. And to be honest, right, Pacquiao is definitely the best choice for him right now. But it's gonna be pretty difficult for any of us to like expertise two commanders at the same time, right? So you definitely have to make a choice there. To either you're going to either you have enough sculpture to get him to expertise and get another commander so that you can pair him with, right? Like, I wouldn't use him. To be honest with you guys, right? Without the expertise skill, I wouldn't use him. Because the expertise skill is gonna help you get a lot more kills on the open field. Other than that, right? Other than that, like the direct damage factor here, 1700. 40% infantry attack bonus is pretty nice, right? The march speed bonus 15% is really nice as well, but the skill damage bonus here is not that crazy. You need him to have the expertise skill, right? You want to be able to use that AoE skill damage. If you look at his expertise skill, if you can maintain its stack, if you could maintain its stack of skill damage bonus, you could potentially deal 400 times 50%, which is 40%, right? Yeah, 40%. So 40% times 400 is 160. 160 plus 400 here is 560, right? So you gotta be able to deal 560 AoE skill damage to all the marches nearby. And you have very low cooldown, 3 seconds. As long as you be able to trigger this skill twice every cycle, that is pretty much equivalent of 1000 AoE skill damage right there. And I think that is what makes him gonna be a pretty decent commander on the open field. But you need him to have expertise. So unless you have enough sculpture to get him to expertise right away, I would kind of hold off on him a little bit, unlock him, keep him there, wait until you can save enough sculpture to expertise him. I think if you do not have Zit Commander expertise, I don't think you should be using him, right? Especially for the open field. Like the expertise skill is, I think the expertise skill is gonna be what makes him stand out from the rest of the other infantry commander. I think it could be like a very good skill for us infantry players to gain a lot of kills. So for me, my plan for him is that I'm gonna unlock him. I'm gonna try to unlock him with whatever gems I have here. And because I cannot expertise him right away, right? I wouldn't be able to utilize on that expertise skill. So I'm just gonna keep him there just for now. And keep saving on my sculpture here. And wait and keep using my existing commander. Like if by the time I can save enough sculpture to expertise him, and there are like no other better commanders, then I will go ahead and expertise him. I definitely think he could be very, very useful if you can expertise him. That is my opinion. Uh, anyway, guys, I hope this video can give you guys some insight on whether or not you should be investing into these commanders. I think he is a pretty decent commander, but if you're looking at my list of commander here again for the commander score, I strongly recommend you guys to check it out on my Discord channel. I think it can give you guys a very, very good information on which commanders are good on the open field, right? And like I don't do 1v1 testing because I think it's kind of useless for me when it comes to picking the right commander for the open field. But hey, if you check out my Discord channel here for the commander score channel, I think you're gonna be able to gain a lot more information on which commander you should be investing on. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video.